I shaved my head a year ago. Let me just put my book down because I wrote some questions I have been asked over the past 365 days about the little strands of hair that come out of my head. Because I feel like that's something people notice about you, like right off the bat. And for whatever reason, it is so interesting, I found. So yeah, I shaved my head, like, to the skin. I remember sitting in the, like, Supercuts chair, and the barber asked me, he said, so how closely to the skin do you want to go? Do you want to scale like 1 to 5? I was like 0, and he buzzed it, and I was like, oh my god. I remember like the first buzz, and I remember feeling it like as he was doing it. I was like, oh, there is no going back. Zoop, gone, all of it down to 0. So that was basically like to the skin. I will insert some pictures actually showing how close to the skin it was. I was very bald, and this was 365 days ago, just about. And I want to go over some of the questions I have been asked over those 365 days, because these are some things that maybe I wish I had known before going in and, you know, doing it all the way as a choice of fashion and presentation. To preface this, I think we all went through a pretty transformational period of our lives as a result of the pandemic. I know for me, everything has changed from where I'm living to how I feel about myself, to how I feel about others, how I perceive my position in reality. And I think self-expression really helped me process that experience. Yeah, and I think everyone changed a bit, at least, in how they express themselves. At least I'm of that opinion. I think we all, as a collective, feel changed, whether that's physically, mentally, or emotionally, as a result of the past, is it 2 years now? Yeah. So, to start us off, a huge thing was like, why did I do it? I remember people would come up to me and be like, oh, I love your hair. Why'd you do it? Why? And I guess going into it, I didn't see it as such a, you know, deep thing. I never saw hair as being like, it never had a whole lot of significance to me. It was more just decorative and fun, and I was always one of those girls that like flip-flopped between like blonde and then like black and then blonde and then black from like 7th grade onwards. I was just always changing it because I felt like I was always changing on the inside. But yeah, I never really valued my hair before I shaved it. I personally chose to shave it because I had damaged it so badly after like a bleach wash. Like I tried to strip out a color using bleach, and it just like, it fried all of like the little hairs on the top layer back here, and there was no way to hide it in a way that could look presentable and or refined in any way. And at the time I was working in hospitality, so a lot of what you are tipped on to an extent has to do with your appearance, so I always strive to look very clean and professional, and there was just no hiding. I had all these like frazzled bits in the back, and I looked like Chicken Little, like it was so bad. And so I remember looking at myself with this like dark green, like really frazzled hair. It was pretty long before I shaved it. I'd say like mid boob length, and I was like, you know what, it's time. I want to try it. I want to see what it's gonna be like living with no hair. So I did it. A question I got asked a whole lot was, do I miss having my long hair? And honestly, for me, that this is gonna like vary depending on who you ask, who has like buzzed hair. I missed having my long hair so much. Not so much because like it wasn't a thing about femininity. I missed having my hair. I missed being able to touch it. I missed being able to style it. Like, I loved doing braids. I loved being able to toss my hair into like a big messy bun on Sunday mornings. Like, that was something I loved. And all of a sudden I just had a little bit of stubble, and I just didn't have my hair anymore. So yeah, I did miss having long hair, and that is probably the biggest reason and contributing factor as to why I'm choosing to grow it out now. I've only had it cut once since the big buzz. So yeah, I really did miss having long hair like so much. And I think that should be something to consider before going to get your hair buzzed. Are you going to miss having that like tangible point of validation? We'll say that, yeah. People would sometimes ask like, oh, are you planning to grow it out? Are you going to shave it again? For me, like, the second I shaved it, I was like, okay, this is a really cool experience, and I'm very glad that I'm doing this, and I'm having this, and I'm gonna learn and grow from it, but I'm probably never gonna do this again. I've been growing it out since, and I feel like we're doing pretty good. Like, it's getting there. I chose to not have one of those like growing out haircuts where they would typically cut from the bottom so that the top layers can grow out. I chose to just regrow it from like square one. So this is where we're at. It has a little bit of layers, and it's a bit of a bitch to style, involving like 12 hair clips, because when I serve, I usually like twist it back so that all the little pieces are away, and then the bottom is like left. So that's that. I hope it grows out quickly over the next 6 months. I want to have like my long hair back. And like, to wrap this up, do I regret it? Like, people will be like, oh, like, you gotta regret it. Like, what do you regret? And I wouldn't say a thing. Like, I don't regret shaving my head. I regret messing up my hair to the point where I felt like I had no other choice to shave my head. But a serious takeaway from shaving it was that I realized my feminine power, like my feminine divinity, has nothing to do with how I look on the outside. And that was huge. I had never felt more feminine than right after I shaved my head and I had no hair, because I could like see myself in the mirror for the first time, and I was like, and I could respect the power within me. It was kind of a strange thing as someone who didn't necessarily put a lot of value on hair. It really helped me recognize my power in my position as a woman in society. People respected me, I feel like, in a different way professionally. No one would like mess with me, which I could go on about like social standards of women and how we look, behave, and act. I didn't feel scared walking around at night with a shaved head, which is crazy and kind of terrible. I felt less of a target, and I felt like stronger on the inside as a result. Yeah. So yeah, if you have any more questions, feel free to leave a comment, and please like and subscribe.